when you're buying one, you cannot customize it towards any different band. So
You can't custom.
You have to buy this specific band because they come with it, and then purchase this one separately.
So that means that you have to buy it with the orange band, and then I have to order this separate.
Yes, through the store though. I'm not sure if online they might actually quote you to customize it. Quote you to customize things
Through the Apple Store ordering.
Yes, I don't know if they give you the chance to customize it through the Apple Store, but I know like online. But I know in the store you have to buy it with the purchase of what.
See, my only thing is I don't know how many extra links I would need for this. I'm thinking it's one, but I don't know if I'd have to get two. Nor do I know how much, the
I don't
actual
even know what size that is because it goes by sizes. So we're gonna see. This is the stainless steel link. All right, so the bracelet link, it's only one size.
Just one size.
42 millimeters.
And that's this.
And that's that, yes. I don't think they have it in store. It's quoting me that it's not showing that. Maybe online it might give you a different thing, but I doubt it because it goes towards the model of a certain watch particularly. So if it's too big, then we just probably just don't have it. You know what I mean? Because if the 42 is just showing me one size, to me as a merchandiser, that's just showing me one size for that ultimate. Because it was never meant for the ultra, but it can still fit. You know
Do I have to talk to them on the phone, or do I just go to the website and just look it up?
You can go to the website with me, so you're not too lost about what to do.
Okay.
In case you want to purchase it.
Okay, so they don't have the band I want, so I don't know if there's anything else worth looking at. A couple of iPads. I said Mac Pro. I'm gonna rebuild my own computer. I was just at Micro Center, in fact. I was looking at what is it called? I was looking at they were selling. They give you a free motherboard if you get a what is it called? Intel 12900K. So if you get a 12900K, they give you a free motherboard, or for Black Friday. And other than that, it's like really I only came here for that Apple Watch Ultra, but it looks like I actually have to special order it because I want to get the metal band. I don't want to get the rubber bands that it comes with. So I'm going to order it up, and then when I get it, I'll probably do a review of the thing. But yeah, that's basically that, I suppose. I'm about to go watch Black Panther Wakanda Forever or whatever. So just seeing what else they got. I do love my phone though. As you can see, the video quality is like perfect. The video quality is like excellent. I love my phone. Yeah, like the video quality out of these things by now, everybody pretty much knows the video quality is like fabulous. They don't really have anything else new, so there's really not that much more to look for. So, like, I think I have everything. I got some new iPads. It's not really much new. So basically, I guess all I was interested in was the Apple Watch Ultra. So, all right. Well, it looks like I got to go on the website and order one. I didn't realize it because I haven't been here in a while, but they have individual watch stores for Omega and Tag Heuer, but I'm not into Tag Heuer, but I do have an Omega Speedmaster Professional. It's like an older watch, and it's a good watch, but I'm surprised that they actually did this and they separated these stores into smaller stores, because on the opposite side, they have, or at least for as far as I know, they still have, they have a, what is it called, a Turnio watch shop. And the Turnio watch shop had everything. But what was crazy was, if you remember my old review from 2012, they used to have a Tesla dealer, or I should say a Tesla gallery right here. And what happened was people turned this mall like so bad until there was a smash and grab of the Turnio watch store that was right here. Oh, I guess that's what happened. Yeah, they closed it. So the Turnio watch store, they closed because there was well, this was a long time ago, but there was a smash and grab. So that caused Tesla to just leave. Tesla's like, oh yeah, well, our clientele doesn't want to be in such ghetto conditions. So what they did was they closed this Turnio, and it looks like some of these watch shops had to open their individual galleries. Oh, in fact, no. Okay, there's part of it right there. This Turnio right there. So you got a lot of posers buying these. Oh yeah, see they got Breitling. You got the Breitling store. Oh, that's amazing that they have individual stores. That's freaking crazy. Like the best watch I would say is the Breitling Emergency. And the Breitling Emergency is basically a pilot watch, so that just in case your plane crashes into fucking water, it's like you can just call for help, like almost immediately. It's really interesting that there's a Breitling store. I've never actually seen one of those. I didn't even see that in Dubai. They didn't have a Breitling store. They got Cartier. Yeah, see, it's really, really small, so it's not nice. And they got to have the guard right there to make sure there's no smash and grab. Somebody come in there with freaking sledgehammers and smash that shit. But that's exactly what happened. They came in there with sledgehammers and they smashed that shit up. And the Tesla store used to be like right there where the Turnio is. And they were like, nah, we got to get out of here. This place is too ghetto. Yeah. Love the video quality on this thing. It's like, at this point, I really think iPhone video quality has gotten so good that it really can't get any better. So it's like, no matter what they do, I'm not going to buy another one of these damn phones until they have a 2 terabyte storage. Once they have a 2 terabyte storage option, that's when I'll buy. So here I am in an AMC theater, and I'm about to watch Black Panther, right? Now, yes, it is more comfortable, and yes, it is more spacious. As you can see, these are power reclining chairs, as you can see. And like you just push the button. You've probably seen these movie theaters. And I will say this, that it's definitely making the movie theater experience better. Unfortunately, AMC is not profitable. And there's a very simple reason why it's not profitable. First of all, you can't get as many people into these theaters when you've got these reclining seats like this. You can't get as many people in here. And then on top of that, it's expensive to operate this stuff. Now, I will say that they probably save a lot of money by not having to have people actually give out tickets, since you could buy tickets online. But the only downside is they've already proved that their business model is not profitable. I've got these morons in my DM claiming that AMC is going to have some kind of breakout, go to the moon, and there's going to be some kind of short squeeze. That shit's not happening no more. Once Wall Street and the government saw that short squeeze the first time, they basically probably vowed to never let that shit happen ever again. So you can forget it. AMC's, the stock is for the dogs at this point. At the very best, they're talking about making these things like Zoom rooms. What the fuck is a Zoom room? Who wants to come here to have a net meeting when I could stay at home, not pay attention? I could be having a net meeting at home and I'm playing Mega Man 2 and they're talking about shit that I don't give a fuck about. It's like, nobody wants to do that. The kids, you already know, that work at home shit is dead. They'll never do that again. After they pulled that COVID shit so that they can get Trump out of office, they will never pull that bullshit ever again. So this whole Zoom meeting, net meeting nonsense is dead. It's just dead. I see they got a couple of sockets back here so that you can plug these seats in, but they obviously only have 2 sockets per seat. So my guess is, like, if you were quick and you snuck in here, you could bring yourself a multi-tap extension cord and you could hook these chairs up to your phone so you can recharge your phone, which is kind of ironic that they don't have charging for your phone, because and that's another thing that these theaters, what they need to do is they need to focus on making it so you can charge an electric vehicle in the back of the theater, and they also need to make it so that you can charge your phone while you're sitting at the seat. But then again, you'll only become even more unprofitable unless you charge people a premium to charge their cars in the back of your theater. If you want a daily dose of exclusive content. I originally was making fun of cryptocurrency suffering catastrophic losses this week, and somebody was quick to say, "Oh yeah, but the whole market is down." And they made that comment, I think it was on November 7th. Now, ever since we had the election on November 8th, the market has obviously rallied. Now, I noticed rallies throughout my portfolios. Throughout each one of my portfolios, I noticed huge increases in the shares that are still left in there. Because as you know, I've pulled out a decent amount of money because I plan to buy my new electric Cadillac Lyric all-wheel drive as soon as the goddamn thing gets built. God knows when that's going to be, because it seems like GM's taking their sweet fucking time. And meanwhile, the Federal Reserve keeps on fucking with interest rates, and you also got the government screwing with supply availability. I have no idea when the chips are going to come. I have no idea what anything is going to cost. So my problem is I have to pay it in cash. Now, I've been assured that I'm not going to have to pay over sticker, but I really, have nothing to go on because they don't know anything yet. There'll be a warranty or whatever if I decide to extend the warranty or whatever, but I don't know anything yet. Neither do they. I keep asking the finance manager over at Cadillac what's going on. He's got nothing to fucking tell me. It's really, really annoying. But bottom line is, my stocks are still doing very well. My oil stocks are still doing very well. I told people to pile into oil. Meanwhile, the crypto influencers, Stephen Graham, those two guys that keep coming on Fresh and Fit, all of these people have been financed. All of these people have been, they've been pumped. I can't think of a better word right now, but these people have been incentivized to pump this crypto bullshit. And now, right now, what is this? November 11, 2022. A year ago, Bitcoin was much higher than it is right now. A year ago. And now look where it is. So that means that all these people, oh yeah, I'm buying the dip, everybody hit this button, hit the button, buy the dip. All of them are down now. And they were buying, it sucks because I don't even want to belabor the point, but these people were buying dip at fucking 50,000. It's a really goddamn shame. A year ago, this shit was $64,449 a year ago. Now, who do you know is the one person who continuously maintained, who kept saying, this shit's not going anywhere. It's not going to 100,000. It'll never see 100. Who was that person? Stephen Graham didn't say that. Stephen Graham basically tried to take the neutral tone while he's getting money from those crypto influences. Oh, yeah, well, no, it could be anything. In 10 years, it could be anything. I mean, it's a huge store of... Right. Yeah, all of these crypto influences, where are they? It's as quiet as a mouse pissing on cotton right now. Where are they? I remember I used to hear, buy this coin over here, buy Dogecoin, buy Ethereum, buy Litecoin, buy Bitcoin, XRP's going to the moon. It's going to Pluto! Where the fuck are they now? Where are they? Now, meanwhile, myself, in obscurity, I was telling people, you know what? Don't buy that shit. Buy oil stock. That's what I was saying. I was saying I am an oil man. Well, this is where it is right now. And I mean, the numbers don't lie. The numbers just don't lie. So meanwhile, while I'm able to cash out over $100,000 in cash and just save a little bit of that so that the IRS can get their share when they hit me with whatever bill they're going to hit me with, the rest of these people are losing their fucking shirts. People who used to run up to me, oh yeah, look at my portfolio. Look at my portfolio. I bought all the Litecoin. I bought all the Ethereum. I bought a whole Bitcoin. Where are they now? Where are they now? And I'm having an ongoing argument with people about XRP. Oh yeah, the court decision
the coin is going to lose. The government's going to lose. XRP going to the moon. It's going to Pluto. It's going to Jupiter. XRP is the new thing. I'm going to pour out my money in the XRP, man. I'm going to be rich. I don't even have to play the New York State Lotto, man. I'm going to be rich. Where are they now? While they were piling in at 60 cents and 50 cents and 40 cents. Oh, yeah, it's on sale. Where are they now? Now, basically, I don't have to belabor the point because you already pretty much get the gist of it. What ultimately happened in Bitcoin this week, which you've probably heard lots and lots of stories of people who are angry about the Ponzi scheme collapse, was Bitcoin fell rapidly after you had FTX file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Shortly thereafter that, even you had some crypto influencers who want to try to keep their subscribers, want to try to keep their channels. People like Stephen Graham came on with soft apologies. Oh, well, we have no idea where. Now, a year ago, it was going to the moon. It was going to 100,000. That's a year ago. What's happened since then? Michael Saylor stepped down as CEO. But Bitcoin it's got nothing but utility. All right. That's how Michael Saylor sounds. No, well, Bitcoin has so much utility. You can buy anything you need with it. And if you hold on to it, you can hold on to the store of your value of your money. And, that's Bitcoin for you. Bitcoin has so much utility. Blah, 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 blah. I feel like Kratos fighting fucking Kronos. It's like Kronos is the billionaire shit talker who's trying to scam people with Bitcoin. And I'm just Kratos. I'm little old Kratos fighting this big motherfucker with a big fucking mouth who's good at nothing but losing money. Lost over $1 billion. All of these people buying on margin. On my channel, I have always warned people against buying on margin. But no, not these people. Oh, no, now Bitcoin's got so much utility. And the Bitcoin utility is so utilitarian. And you can buy food with it. And listen, if you cash your Bitcoin and Mike, I was actually, I like to admit when I'm wrong. I predicted Michael Saylor would have taken his own life by now. And I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong, but I'm very disappointed in myself for being wrong about that. Because the way I see it is, if you scam this many people for this much money, just like Bernie Madoff, it's like, at that point, China, when China has somebody who embezzles money or steals from the state, you know what they do? China executes them. And what they do, and just in case you don't understand the Chinese execution method, I think they're trying to go soft now, like they're trying to start using a lethal injection, but they're harvesting people's organs before they kill them. But what they used to do is they used to take people into a field and they used to put rifles to their head and blow their head off. And what they would do is right before they shoot you, they would tell you, excuse me, could you please close your mouth so the bullets don't ricochet? No, I'm sorry. They would say, open your mouth, because the problem is teeth and enamel are pretty hard. So sometimes what would happen is the soldiers would fire a shot and the bullet would ricochet off the enamel of the teeth and it would it might hurt or injure the soldiers. We don't want that. So they would tell people, excuse me, yes, you have to please open your mouth. And then they would, carry through the execution. But the way I see it is, it's like anybody who steals this much, anybody who scams this much, I'm sorry, I'd like to hand you right over to the People's Republic of China. I really would. But anyway, that's far getting off the point. I shouldn't be delving in my own personal fantasies there. Bitcoin falls after FTX files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I'm not going to read all this. Price of Bitcoin has fallen 5% over the past 24 hours to 16,675. Now, it's obvious that it's not going to stay down, because the thing about it, one thing I've realized, and you should have recognized this a long time ago, the people who promote this shit, the people who advertise for this, they're pouring money into advertisements. So they're doing every single thing they can to keep people, for whatever reason, buying this. I think the only thing that they pour more money into advertisement for is probably the lottery. But the lottery, strangely enough, advertises itself. I mean, when you try to convince people that they have a chance at winning $2 billion, which means that the government's going to probably take about 40 or 50% of it, and they're only going to walk home with about maybe 800 million, which is still more than enough. But meanwhile, they've basically handed the majority of that money over to the government, but they get to be a millionaire when they never would have been a millionaire before. When you convince people that all of a sudden all their problems are going to be over and that they're going to be rich, that kind of advertisement is pretty powerful. And the thing about the lottery is it advertises itself. You have everybody coming up with all these ideas about how they're going to spend this money that they haven't even gotten yet. I mean, even me, I had plans to buy a new helicopter. I want one of those HX-50s at $700,000. And because helicopters are very expensive to maintain, you know, the blades are carbon fiber. Those things, you know, it might be $100,000 for 2 or 3 sets of blades. It might be $30,000 per set. But hey, if you're a multimillionaire like that, you know, you ain't worried about it, right? But they had people convinced that they're going to win this money. Everybody believed they have a chance. And meanwhile, your chances are lower than your chances of getting struck by lightning like 3 times in a row. It's incredible. Though your chances are actually better of getting struck by lightning 3 times in a row than hitting that Powerball. Your chances are actually better with the lightning. They had people convinced everybody was going to just put a couple of dollars in and they're all going to be rich off of Shiba Inu. All these people talking about Shiba Inu, the boat party, there's supposed to be a yacht party. They just disappeared. I don't even hear from them no more. Sometimes they change their YouTube channel names. They just disappeared. And the sad thing is they want to act as if this shit is a joke. They want to act as if, it's just trolling. Oh, it's just a joke. Oh, it's just what did they call it? Fluff, whatever. And then they just disappear. You know, you put money into their pocket and then they just disappear. But that's how it works. So this guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, whatever. I don't even care. Filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings in Delaware. And basically, you know, the whole thing is crashing down. And because FedEx took a large percentage of the crypto market with them, and my guess is it also caused or sparked some fear in some of the crypto holders. And they said, you know, I might as well sell this shit now because they themselves felt that a collapse was coming. We have no idea what's going to happen in the long run to this garbage. But the interesting thing is that as far as I'm concerned, it's never, ever going back to the old days of like last year. It's not going to happen. The government has raised these interest rates. These people can no longer borrow on margin. It's not as easy as borrowing at 0% or less than 3%. You can't do it anymore. So I just don't foresee any of this shit going back to the heyday or even reaching the highs of 50 or 60,000. I just don't see it. Like people kept on telling, oh yeah, well, Bitcoin's making moves and look at it, it's 25,000. Yeah. That was like a couple of months ago before all of this shit happened. So it's like, guys, you're not convincing me. I'm not convinced. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I don't feel like I'm going to Pluto. I just don't feel it, guys. I don't think you are either. I think you're going to die on this rock, Earth. I think you're going to stay right here and you're going to be buried right here. I don't think you're going to Pluto. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm sorry. But, you know, I could belabor the point, but there's just no point. It's like at a certain point, you just get tired. But what I'm not tired of is seeing the other gains that have been made, which I just want to talk about very, very briefly. Here's a really interesting story that affects my portfolio, probably for the better. They say Tesla may start exporting China-made EVs to the U.S. and Canada. Now, as you can see in this picture, there's a lot of Teslas that have been built over in China. They're saying that this is the port in Suzhou. I've actually been to Suzhou before. This is Taikang Port in Suzhou near the Tesla plant in Shanghai. And as you can see, there's a whole lot of cars. Now, obviously, the reason why Tesla would consider doing this is because it's cheaper to manufacture these things in China and ship them to America. Ironically, that's exactly how global exporting works best ironically, because the thing about it is it's cheaper for the company to build them in China because the people in China earn less money per hour, for one. And then second of all, because you have so much more manpower, it's easier to turn out more units in a short amount of time. Now, Elon Musk has already said that's false, but right now it's hard to believe anything he says, especially with all the insanity he's causing over at Twitter, driving the liberals who are still on Twitter crazy. Whoopi Goldberg claimed that she canceled her account. People like Joe Madison, Urban View, he claims he canceled his Twitter account. At the end of the day, nobody cares about them. They're just, minor. They're not even really cogs in the machine. They're old. So the thing about it is, if Tesla does this, it could mean larger profit margins, and it could also mean that my Tesla shares appreciate in value faster, which I'm not adverse to. Now, some people wouldn't like to see this because obviously that would mean that they're no longer made in America if you're exporting them from China. The other major problem that this could cause is the fact that with the newest law, and it says something about that here, I just forget where it is. With the newest law that Joe Biden has put into effect when it comes to electric vehicles, the final assembly of those vehicles must be in the United States or someplace the United States is sanctioned. In fact, let's see, where does it say that? It says, yes, the plan, if enacted, could create new complexity for U.S. buyers. Under the terms of a new electric vehicle subsidy and production incentive plan signed into law by U.S. President Joe Biden, the incentive available for an individual vehicle could vary depending on whether it was imported or not. So basically, they were saying that if the final assembly is not in America, you may not get the incentive. Here's the thing, though. If that incentive was only up to about $7,500, the problem is there's a whole lot of people who desperately want their cars and they want them now, and they're willing to pay the money and they are willing to forego the tax incentive. Not only that, there are some people who don't qualify for it anyway because they're probably paying the alternative minimum tax. And if they're paying the alternative minimum tax, they definitely wouldn't qualify for any subsidy like this anyway. So that's a piece of information that I felt was pretty interesting that just came out. So if you're a Tesla shareholder like I've been since 2012, this might be of importance to you. Basically, all it means is that you bought your Tesla shares. Whenever you bought them, hold them. See, the funny thing is, Tesla has been on an absolute roller coaster since 2012. I remember back in 2012 when I invested in them, and then a few years later, I was wondering whether or not I should sell when it hit 300 because I wasn't sure how high it could possibly go. There were people telling me, yeah, you should sell. And I said, nah, I'm going to hold on to it because I'm a person who has a hard time hitting the sell button unless I really, 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 really have to. And it turns out that I was right to hold on to it because the value from that $300, the value pretty much quadrupled to the point when they had the stock split. And then the first stock split, the value actually went up even more. And then they recently had the third stock split right before we pretty much officially were in recession. But the thing about it is once Tesla starts delivering these electric semi-trucks and the Cybertruck and the Roadster, which God knows when any of that's going to happen. But once that actually starts happening, no matter where you bought your Tesla shares, you're going to see profit out of it. Absolutely. And the thing about it is, yes, there are a lot of other companies who've started building electric competitor vehicles, but the issue that all of them have is that Tesla, even though they have shitty interiors, Tesla just happens to have superior software. And because they have superior software, and also there's a cult of personality surrounding Elon Musk, and on top of that, there are some people who absolutely want the brand Tesla rather than something else like, say, Hyundai or Kia or Ford Mustang Mach-E's or whatever it is. Some people absolutely want a Tesla because they just want a Tesla. So there's nothing you can do about that. So that's a good thing in the long run because if you're a shareholder, it means that you have a product that's being made that people are vastly interested in. Totally unlike cryptocurrency, where you have a non tangible product where the interest is waning. Now, as far as my own personal index, Mangoat, which stands for basically Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Google, oil stocks with dividends, Amazon, AMD, Tesla. As far as my own personal index, things have been actually very good. There are some people who, may be new to my channel and they don't understand my personal index. But basically, long before the COVID pandemic hit, I was already invested in these things. And around the time when COVID hit and I saw most of them start to appreciate in value, I decided to pour even more money into them. So I think it's important to remember that if you look back to March 2020, most of these things are nowhere near where they were right now. Like Microsoft was $149, and since then we're up at least $100. And then you think about Apple. Apple has been steadily rising, but if you look at March 2020, Apple was down to $61.94, and today it's at $149. But that's down from the highs that it hit at 182. And then you have NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA was on a very big roller coaster, and the reason why was because they were making GPUs, and during the crypto craze, which is dead now, as you know, GPUs were in extremely high demand to the point where people were paying 2 and 3 times as much as they were worth. You look back to March 2020, and as you can see, in March 2020, the value was only in the 60s. So when we had the collapse, March 18, 2020, yeah, you can see the value is only $63. And of course, right now, it's at $163. And then you have Google. And Google, unfortunately, Google has fallen considerably, even though I'm still ahead in Google. Google has fallen considerably because of the ad revenue. YouTube is pretty much Google's cash cow, and unfortunately, YouTube has been losing money. First of all, they started basically making things tougher for content creators. They've taken a lot of interest away from YouTube, and now people are going to other sites like Patreon, and they go into like OnlyFans and stuff. In fact, if I was YouTube, if I was YouTube, I would have bought OnlyFans. Or if I should say, if I was Google, I would have bought OnlyFans. Like all of these competitor products, I would have bought them up. And if that means that people are going to criticize me for running a porn studio like OnlyFans, then that's just what it is. But the thing about it is, I would never walk away from that kind of money, because most of these women out there, they know that the only way they're ever going to make any competitive salary is to be on OnlyFans, showing off their feet and farting in jars and getting these simps to pay them money every single month, getting these dumbass simps, these thirsty simps to spend money on them. See, these guys are dumb. Instead of spending $200 and just getting their passport, these simps have themselves locked into memberships where they're paying these women. It's disgusting. But be that as it may, it's America. You can waste your money how you want to waste your money. So you look back to 2020, March, when they had the crash, it was $55. Right now, Google is a little bit under $100. It's $96. At its high, it was $152. And that's when I really felt like I had really gotten ahead. Now, I know that this is mostly because of the recession, and I understand that all you have to really do is hold. But the sad thing is, it's going to be a long hold. It may be a year, it may be 2 years. I think after the election, we saw rallies in the stock market that have lasted for, a couple of days. Pretty much, it looks like it's going to last a week. And we're rallying into the fourth quarter. Now, I think that given time, all of these things are going back up. But the thing about it is, I bought them so cheap until at this point, I really can't lose, because they'd have to damn near go to like zero in order for me to start worrying, which that's not going to happen. I doubt that'll happen. Google's a very big company and it's a very powerful company. Then there's Amazon. Amazon is down considerably. And it's set. Well, I think the one thing that bothers me is that all of these tech stocks, they did stock splits right before we officially announced recession, which in my opinion is really the government's fault because the government was lying to everybody and trying to convince everybody we're not in a recession, even though for the longest we all knew that we were. So it looks like Amazon, you're going to have to just hold. It's like if you got in nice and early when Amazon was a lot cheaper, you're good. But if you didn't, if you haven't sold it already, it's probably better to just hold it. I have over 100 shares of Amazon. I have over 100 shares of Google because I got them before they did their splits. But I got them a very long time ago, so, it was a lot cheaper when I bought them. Then there's Tesla. Tesla's $195. But Tesla's been on a roller coaster, and it's going to stay on that roller coaster for a long time. So they say, Tesla stock lost more than 5% of value this week. I'm not worried about that. Just stay the course. That's all you can really do. There's also AMD. Now, I originally told people to buy AMD back when it was under $50 a share. AMD skyrocketed up to 164, and now it's back down. I think the important thing to remember is that Intel, AMD, and Micron, and this is another thing, and I told you about this in a video a little while ago. They are planning to build a factory. They've already started, but they're planning to build a factory in upstate New York. And they're doing this part of that CHIPS Act. And the CHIPS Act is basically to take silicon chip monopoly away from Taiwan. Now, in doing that, they are making it so that if China ever takes over Taiwan, that China will not control the majority of silicon chips. That's what the CHIPS Act is all about. It's strategic. I know a lot of people, especially the Republicans who call themselves Republicans on Fox 5 and who are on Glenn Beck's show, The Blaze TV. A lot of them were angry and poo-pooing Nancy Pelosi. I was too, because as far as I was concerned, it was insider trading. However, even in the long term, I do recognize the importance of the CHIPS Act. To build chips here in America, I don't really even care what state they do it in, but to build those chips here and to make sure that we never have a chip shortage again. Now that they've seen that a chip shortage affects everything, it affects being able to buy a refrigerator, it affects a microwave, it affects cars, it affects car seats, it affects everything. Now that they've seen that, now they're starting to build the chips here. I've got no problem with that. Yes, it was damn near $1 billion that America invested into this CHIPS Act over time. I have no problem with that because in the end of the day, domestic manufacturing of essential products is 100% necessary. I would also go so far as to say that that's part of our national defense. I noticed that during the Russia-Ukraine war, whatever they want to call it, special operation. But during the Russia-Ukraine war, it got so bad that they actually started taking chips out of old appliances because they needed to use them for missiles. And I just think that's absolutely ridiculous. And that was a headline news. So, it's like, I'm not there. I just read this. But I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? The CHIPS Act kind of makes sense in that respect. So that's the one thing about government spending when it's for national security and it's for national longevity, that I can get behind. Now, there's some people who always accuse me. They're like, "Oh yeah, well you complain about them giving bailouts for student loans, but you don't complain and have the same smoke for when they spend in the military." Well, yeah, because in this case, first of all, national security spending, believe it or not, is actually constitutional. Giving money to people who fucked up and got useless liberal arts degrees and they went to party schools, stayed on campus and did nothing but drink, smoke, and have unprotected sex, sometimes with the same gender, that's not in the Constitution. As far as I'm concerned, number one. And number two, literally, it's not in the Constitution. So spending on national defense, national security, that is in the Constitution. And since most of you fuckers haven't had civics and you don't know the difference, I'm just going to leave it up to you to try to prove me wrong, but you'll never be able to do that, so I could care less. But that's basically the situation. So as you can see, tangible stocks up, cryptocurrencies down.